We've got another caller on the line, I believe. Dan from Sydney, welcome to Your Money, Your Call. What's your question for our panellists this evening?
I'm 57 years old and I'm thinking of retiring in 3 years' time when I get to 60. And I got some amount of super in my superannuation of around 750k, and I got 4 investment properties. I suppose my question is, in the approach to my retirement, is it best to sell those property and roll the money over to an allocated pension, or still keep them as income-producing assets? What would be the best?
Dan, have you got any debt on those properties?
Yeah, some interest-only debt. Yeah.
Interest-only debt, and what would the property and how much debt have you got?
Property, those 4 will be around about, I don't know, about 1 million.
About $1 million even, yep. And how much debt would you have on those?
About 650.
650, yep. So you're probably either negative geared or neutrally geared depending on what sort of income you're getting from the properties. Now remember, at retirement we're trying to create an income stream for life, and in order to do that we want to get rid of debt. So the other thing we're also considering at retirement is moving assets from a fully taxable environment to a non-taxable environment. So at the moment you're probably earning your salary, you're probably negative gearing the properties, and hopefully those properties are going up in value. But when you retire you're no longer earning. So the purpose of negative gearing is completely negated, so it becomes a moot point. So often what we do is we sell down those some of those assets or all of those assets depending on your risk profile and your diversification strategy, and then we move those assets from your own name into the superannuation environment. So a taxable environment to a tax-free environment depending on the contribution laws and what those laws are at the time of the movement. Yeah.
Did you want to comment on? A lot of clients are asking that question that he just asked about whether to roll over their superannuation into this allocated pension.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, for most people, the allocated pension it's income tax free. It's earnings tax free, and it's capital gains tax free. So for someone like Dan, and I had a client in my office probably a couple of hours ago that looked almost exactly the same as Dan, and something that we talked about was the ability to borrow within super. We haven't really touched on it too much tonight, but it's certainly a boon for self-managed super funds is the ability to borrow within super. So rather than negative gearing outside of super, and Dan's income tax is probably still up around 30, if not 40%. If we borrow within super and contribute non-concessional or concessional contributions to super, it's only paying 15% tax. So it makes far more sense to borrow within super than outside of super. So it might be worth a consideration, depending on his circumstances, of course.
All right, maybe we should talk about pros and cons.